So let's get started. Child's pose. Press the tops of your feet down into your mat. Lift and spread your fingers. Like walk them closer towards the top of your mat. Good morning, Sarah. Good morning, Rachel. We're in child's pose when you're ready. And start to cultivate a little Ujjayi breath. So you'll inhale through your nose, exhale through your nose, slight constriction in your throat. Take a few more big, deep breaths, like deep and wide. Downward facing dog. Lift and spread your fingers. Press the four corners of the palms of your hands down into your mat. Like press your mat away from you. Press your hips up and back. Open your eyes. See something at the back of your mat. Ragdoll, top of mat. You can walk your feet hip distance apart or even wider. And allow the crown of your head to drop down towards your mat. Extended mountain. Yeah, lift your side body up towards your ceiling. Wake up your fingertips, reach them a little bit closer to your ceiling. Hands to heart center. And close down your eyes. We'll take 3 ohms as a community this morning. Breath in. Om. Extended mountain. Forward fold. Halfway lift. Pull your shoulder blades into your spine, belly button to your spine. High plank. Stack your shoulders over your wrists, like press your mat away from you. Low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Press your big toe knuckles down into your mat and like spin your inner ankles, your inner thighs towards the back of your mat. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Press your heels down into your mat. Lift your fingertips up towards your ceiling. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Reset your gaze at the back of your mat. Press your collarbones towards your upper thigh bones. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Lift up through the crown of your head. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Press your tailbone up and back behind you. Stitch your low ribs back in towards center. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Last Sunday, reach up, go up. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Reset your foundation, like press your hands down into your mat. Press your big toe knuckles down towards your mat. Maybe your heels sink a little closer towards your mat. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Bend your knees, drop your tailbone down. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other, almost like you're trying to hold a piece of paper between your legs. One more breath in. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right foot forward. Bring your right foot up towards the top of your mat. Spin your left outer edge of your foot down towards your mat. And lift the front of your pelvis up towards your ceiling. On your exhale, high to low, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left foot forward. Press both of your heels down into your mat. Stitch your low ribs back in towards center. One more breath in. Exhale, chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Spin your upper arm bones towards the outside edges of your mat. Squeeze your armpits in towards each other, like in towards your collarbone. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Press your shins towards the back of your mat. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right foot forward. On your inhale, rise up on your exhale, high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left foot forward. High to low, chaturanga. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Spin your inner ankles towards the back of your mat. And like press your outer ankles down. Inhale. Exhale. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Drop your tailbone down. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, right foot forward. Press both of your heels down into your mat. Lift your side body up. High to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior one, left foot forward. Lift your side body up towards your ceiling. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Three-legged dog on the right. Lift your right heel up off your mat. Bend your knee, open your hip. And notice if you need to take any movement, roll out your ankle, roll out your hip. When you're ready, flip your dog. Keeping your left hand rooted on your mat. Bring both of your feet to 12 o'clock. Press both of your feet down as an access to lift your hips up, lift your chest up. High plank. Side plank, left arm high. Flex your feet towards the front of your mat, towards the front of your space. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. Maybe you shift your gaze up over your left fingertips for 3, 2, 1. Chaturanga, high to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Three-legged dog on the left. Bend your knee, open your hip. Notice if this side requires something different. Flip your dog. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards each other. Pull your shoulder blades back in towards your spine. High plank. Side plank, right arm high. Wake up your feet, wake up your fingertips, like find a little bit of space in between them. Press the crown of your head towards the front of your room, like towards the front of whatever's in front of you. For 3, 2, maybe you shift your gaze up over your fingertips. Last one. High to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Crescent lunge, right foot forward. stack your left heel over your left big toe. Press your right heel down into your mat. Hands to heart center. Twist towards your right. Press your left thigh up towards your ceiling. And press your hands in towards each other. Create a little resistance there. From there, lift your chest up. Option to open your arms. Pull your belly button back up towards your spine. Warrior two. Stack your right knee over your right ankle. You have it come into the 90-degree bend. Press your right knee over your right pinky toe. Extended side angle. Tuck your right hip underneath you. Like stack your left hip on top of your right. Option for a bind with your left hand. You can do a half bind or a full bind. Like there's freedom in that like you can take whatever shape of the pose you want to take. Just because I cue something doesn't mean you have to take it. Like know that there's freedom there. Last breath in. Exhale, plant your hands high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Crescent lunge, left foot forward. Hands to heart center. Twist towards the left. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards the center of your body. Like press your right femur bone up towards your ceiling. Option to open your arms. Like lift your chest up off your thigh. Warrior two. Press your left knee over your left pinky toe. Yeah, like come to that edge again. Like see what's there. Extended side angle. Press both of your heels down into your mat and energetically drag them in towards each other. Option for that bind, whether that's a half bind or a full bind. Smooth out your breath. One more breath in. Exhale, plant your hands high to low plank. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Breath in. Clear it out. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Chair pose. Bring your big toes together to touch, maybe an inch or two between your heels. And drop in, like notice what you've got to drop to just come right in, right here, right now. Spin your inner thighs towards the back of your mat. Drop your tailbone down. Hands to heart center. Twist towards your right. Take a peek at your knees, like pull your left knee back in line with your right. Nice. Option to open your arms. If you want to play a side crow, this always is the time for it. Twisting chairs, drop your tailbone lower than your chest. Nice, Felipa, I saw that. Chair pose. Hands to heart center. Twist towards the left. Yeah, like you're so much stronger than you realize. When we drop everything and tune into our breath, we get access to this moment right here, right now. Option to open your arms. Drop your tailbone 2 more inches, a little bit lower than your chest. Chair pose. Fingers to toes, forward fold. So walk your feet hip distance apart. Grab your big toes with your peace fingers, your first 2 fingers. Allow the crown of your head to drop down towards your mat. Maybe you shake out your head, yes and no. Palms to toes, forward fold. So walk your hands underneath your feet. It might mean giving yourself some extra bend in your knees, a little extra space. Drop your tongue from the roof of your mouth. Crow pose or deep yogi squat. So crow pose, press your L shape of your hands down into your mat. Press your triceps into your inner thighs into your triceps. Like maybe you lift just 1 toe up off your mat. We'll be here for 5, 4, 3, pull your belly button up towards your spine. 2, 1, shoot back, chaturanga, high to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog. Breath in. Let it go. Step or float, top of mat. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Extended mountain. Eagle on the right. Right arm under, right leg over. Yeah, like if you can make the bind, make the bind. If that's not accessible, you can always grab opposite shoulders, stack the elbows. Press your standing foot down into your mat. And press the crown of your head up towards your ceiling. Eagle on the left. Pull your belly button back up towards your spine, like wake up your core. And press your forearms towards the front of your mat. Yeah, almost like they're gonna break apart. Eagle on the right. All right, we're gonna play with a different transition into airplane from here. So just bear with me. Do this. So from our eagle, we'll hinge forward at our hips, almost like a crunch. From there, open up into airplane with eagle arms. Press your standing foot down into your mat. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. Option to open your arms. Like spin the palms of your hands down towards your mat. Half moon. Press your left foot down into your mat, like ungrip your left toes from your mat. Flex your floating foot back towards the front of your mat. Spin your right rib cage on top of your left. And maybe lift up off of your mat, like lift your left fingertips up off your mat for 3, 2, 1, forward fold. Halfway lift. Forward fold. Eagle on the left. Hinge forward at your hips towards your mat. Unbind your left leg for airplane. Spin your left pinky toe down towards your mat. Option to open your arms. And like press the air away from you. Yep. Half moon. Flex your floating toes back towards the front of your mat. Stack your left hip on top of your right. Pull your belly button back towards your spine, like skin to muscle to bone. Pull in towards center so you can express out through your fingertips, through your toes. For 3, 2, maybe you hover your right hand for last breath in, forward fold. Halfway lift, forward fold. Extended mountain. Dancer on the right. So grab your right ankle, right shin. Press your right shin towards the back of your mat. Like squeeze your right knee back in towards center line. Dancer on the left. Smooth out your breath. Ujjayi. Tree pose on the right. You can bring your right foot to your right calf or right foot to left calf, left inner thigh. There we go. Rights and lefts are so hard. Press your standing leg in towards your foot and your foot into your standing leg. Create a little stability there. From there, option to go up, like lift up with your gaze or lift up with your fingertips. Whatever you want to create in this space right here. Tree pose on the left. Pull your right glute back in towards center. And lift up through your pelvis, up through the crown of your head. Maybe you just lift up with your gaze. Bring both feet together to touch, hands at heart center or hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Take a breath in as a community. Sigh it out. Extended mountain. Forward fold. Halfway lift. High plank to low. Upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Warrior 2, right foot forward. Triangle. So straighten your knee just a bit. Rest your tailbone towards the back of your mat. Spin your left rib cage on top of your right. Wide leg forward fold towards the left side of your mat. Toes in, heels out. Notice if you can soften in between your eyebrows. You can soften your jaw. Warrior 2 towards the back of your mat, so your left foot will be forward. Triangle. Press your heels down into your mat and energetically squeeze them in towards each other. Lengthen your left side body towards the front of your new front of your mat. Maybe you spin your right shoulder open. Wide leg forward fold. Option for a chest expansion if you want to play with an inversion. Yogi's choice. If you want to play with a twist, that's always an option. wherever you chose to take the shape of your pose, like open your eyes and see something, like set your gaze. Tune back into your breath. On your next inhale, star pose, like reach your fingertips up towards your ceiling, lift your chest up, plant your hands at the top of your mat, high to low plank. Upward facing dog, downward facing dog, high plank, low plank, high plank, low plank, high plank. Pull your belly button up towards your spine. We'll lower for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Locust pose. Option to take more of like the Superman variation, hands outstretched, or you can interlace your hands together. Press your big toes in towards each other. Press your hips down, lift your chest up. And release. Take a cheek to the mat. Locust or floor bow. Floor bow, you'll grab your ankles. Wake up your feet. Press your hips down. And release. Other cheek to the mat. Floor bow. Yeah, one last one. Flex your feet, wake up your feet, press your heels up towards your ceiling. Squeeze your inner thighs in towards center line. One more breath in, lift your chest up and release. You can windshield wipe your feet side to side. Plant your hands by your low ribs, upward facing dog. Downward facing dog. Step or jump through bridge pose. Bring your feet to 12 o'clock. Like press them down into your mat. And lift your hips up towards your ceiling. Press your triceps down into your mat, like pull your shoulder blades in towards each other. And release. Breath in. Breath out. Bridge or wheel, come on up. Press the four corners of your feet down into your mat. And release. Breath in. Breath out. Bridge or wheel, come on up. Yeah, give up what you must and just show up like however you want to show up right here, right now. And release. Breath in. Breath out. Bridge or wheel, come on in. Yeah, always an option to choose your shape and stay in that shape. Like, you don't have to like keep breathing with us. Like, move with your breath and release. Breath in. Breath out. Bridge or wheel, come on up. Pull your belly button up towards your spine and release. Breath in, breath out. Bridge or wheel, come back up. Yeah, like you've shown up for yourself so big. Like, give yourself the gift of showing up and continuing to show up for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet to touch. Allow your knees to be heavy and drop towards your mat. Bring your hand to your heart, hand to your belly, or grab for opposite elbows up overhead. Happy baby. Grab your feet, press your low back down into your mat. You can roll side to side. Bring your hands behind your head, kick your feet up to the ceiling. Flex your feet back down towards you. Lift your chest up off your mat. Drop your right heel 2 inches from your mat. Lift your chest up to your ceiling for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Switch legs. Left foot hovers 2 inches off your mat. Press your low back down. Pulse up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring both feet back up to your ceiling, hands by your low hips. Flex your feet back down towards you. Drop your feet a third of the way down. Drop another third of the way down. Lower till your low back pops up. Come 1 inch back up. Press your low back down. And come a third of the way back up. Another third. Feet back up to your ceiling. Drop a third of the way down. Lower. Lower till your low back pops up. Come 1 inch back up. Another third of the way back up. Yes, you can. Another third. Press your low belly in. Feet up to your ceiling. Bicycle twist. Yeah, don't worry about counting. I've got that for you. Pull your belly button up towards your spine and like kick your heels. Yeah, like you're gonna knock the screen in front of you or the wall in front of you through. Like for another 20, 19, 18, 17, 16, 15, 14, 13, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. High boat. Lift and spread your toes. Low boat. High boat. Pull your shoulder blades back in towards your spine. Lift your chest up. Rock and roll up and down your spine. Option to flow through your final vinyasa. We're headed to half pigeon on the right. So if you want to just come in, always an option. Bring your right shin parallel towards the top of your mat. Flex your right foot. Notice if there's opportunity to soften your jaw. Soften your upper body down towards your mat, maybe down to a pillow. I know right now, like, I've been hearing a lot of chatter about, at least for some people in my life, that they don't feel like they have enough space. Like, whether that's physical space or mental space. And a lot of those conversations, it's been really helpful for me to be sharing, like reminding them that to take care of themselves and that it can look different every single day. It can mean pausing, it can be resting. It can be just showing up for yourself for 60 minutes at class. Like turning off the notifications for 60 minutes just for you. Half pigeon on the left. And like get curious, like where on your mat or in your life are you craving more space? Notice what you have to give up to create that space. We live in a world that demands like hustle nonstop, or at least my world is that way. And when I have decided that I want to create space, I break all the other rules. And I just show up moment to moment, breath to breath. Notice what's possible for you if you just tune into your breath, even for just one breath. Double pigeon, swing your right foot around, stack it on top of your left thigh. Couple options for a self-assist. So from double pigeon, you can either take your hands and like press them into your feet, like press your feet into your hands just to create a little more resistance. Otherwise, you can take your thumbs towards your inner thighs and like externally rotate them towards the outer edges of your mat. So both an option. Yeah, and from there, like option to hinge forward with a straight spine. Double pigeon, other foot on top. Option for either of those self-assists again. You can press your hands into your feet or externally rotate your inner thighs. Seated single leg extension, right leg long, left foot to your inner thigh. Flex your right foot back towards you. Option for a side body stretch. You can reach your left fingertips up overhead, up towards your right foot. Seated single leg extension, left leg long. Always an option to add stargazer if you want to add that in between. Option to add that side body stretch, reaching your right fingertips up and overhead towards the front of your mat. Seated forward fold, both feet long. Press your tailbone down into your mat, hinge forward. Reverse tabletop, reverse plank. Plant your hands, lift your hips. Shoulder stand, headstand, handstand, legs up the wall, any inversion of your choice this morning. Legs up the wall is always a little more restorative. You can put your feet up against a wall, literally if you have a wall nearby. You're taking shoulder stand, walk your elbows in a little bit closer. Press your big toes in towards each other. Press your big toe knuckles up towards your ceiling. Shoulder stands to plow. If you're taking another inversion, no rush. Child's pose will be your release. Plow to ear pinning pose. Roll to your back. Supine twist. Right knee into your chest, left leg long. If you want to take an easy twist, that's always an option too. Stacking both your knees and dropping them towards the left side of your mat. Supine twist to the other side. Left knee into your chest, right leg long. Supta Baddha Konasana, soles of your feet to touch. Hand on your heart, hand on your belly. Allow your knees to soften down towards your mat. Shavasana. Yeah, take some deep rest just for a few moments. Allow your bones to be heavy and melt down into your mat. Start to bring movement back to your body. Movement to your fingers and toes. Roll your ankles, roll your wrists out. Roll your head side to side. Reach your hands overhead for a full body stretch. Roll to your side, fetal position. Come up to an easy seat. You can close down your eyes, hands at heart center. We'll end class today with one Om as a community. Breath in. Om. Hands to forehead center. Namaste.
Namaste.
Thanks, yogis, for being here. As always, I can't say it enough how much I love seeing all of you. Quick announcement, well, two things. Thursday is the last Nidra session with Betsy Weiner, 5 to 6. It doesn't cost extra. You can use your normal pack or membership from 5 to 6, so definitely check that out. And then this weekend, if you're in Minneapolis, we are doing a holiday store. The Minneapolis location will be Saturday 2 to 4. St. Paul location will be 2 to 4 if you want to pick up merch and all of those good things for the holidays. So that's all I've got. Happy Tuesday. Had to think about it for a second.
Thanks, Kat.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Barb.
Good morning, Mariana.
Hi, Barb. I'm back. See if this week I can come a couple more times at 6 a.m. How are you?
Good.
Good. Good
How are
to see
you?
Good. Yeah.
Thank you, Kat.
All in all,
Tired.
not too bad. Take care.
Thanks all. Thanks, Kat.
Thank you, Kat.
Have a lovely day. Hey, Barb. Hi, everyone.
That's it for the day. Hope everyone has a mighty Tuesday. Be mighty, one mighty.